The last game you opened, you sank 300 hours into it. And not casually either. You got genuinely good at it. Every achievement unlocked, every boss beaten, armor maxed out, and yeah, you scrolled through forums checking where you stacked up against other players. Better than 99% of them, turns out. So, there you are, completely locked in and proud of yourself. You close the laptop, and it hits you. Why the hell don't I bring this energy to skills that actually matter in real life? The last time you said you learned Spanish, you bailed in 4 days and decided it just wasn't your thing. You tried to start your fitness journey and quit after a few push-ups. Why? Look, the question isn't whether you're capable. I mean, you clearly are. You felt it, and the receipts are right there. The question is how to rewrite the gaming instincts into something useful. That's what we're getting into today. No filter. What games do so well? Games have million-dollar budgets, and I mean millions, all funneled into one goal: making you stay. The longer you play, the more money they make. So where does the money actually go? I'm someone who has put literally tens of thousands of hours into video games and developed a pretty unhealthy obsession with being as good as possible at them. Same question kept bugging me, and I boiled it down to 3 pillars. The third one is the one that matters most in my view. Pillar 1, the difficulty is perfect. Games nail this. They don't drop you in front of the first boss holding 2 sticks and a pair of busted sandals. They walk you through one mechanic, then another, then combine them, and finally make you use both under pressure against that first boss. The game keeps nudging you right up to the edge of what you can handle, which is why you stay locked in. Too easy and you get bored, start checking your phone during cutscenes. Way too hard and you fly into a rage, call the game trash, and 5 minutes later you're on YouTube watching some guy rant about how the dev screwed up. Real life skills constantly fail here. People say, I want to learn coding, which sounds nice in theory, but it's fucking useless. Like, that's just an insanely vague goal. Same flavor as, I want to get in shape, or I want to learn Spanish. Okay, great. That explains nothing and still leaves you 500 ways to half-ass your week. No wonder people lose interest when they don't know which direction to walk. A better approach is to make the goal stupidly specific. And no, not because specificity is magic. It gives the session a shape. Don't learn coding. Build one ugly login page that actually works. Don't go learn Spanish, order food in Spanish, and survive the conversation. Now your brain has something concrete to chase. Now you can actually tell whether today's session went somewhere or not. And once you've locked in a target, adjust from there. Games do this automatically for you. In real life, you do it yourself. Now, the second thing games get right is that they protect your attention. You know how when you're deep in something intense in a game, you're not casually checking your texts every 2 minutes? You're not juggling 3 tabs, replying on Discord, half watching a podcast, and then acting shocked that you couldn't focus? Of course you couldn't. You built a whole carnival around the task and then blamed your brain for joining in. Flow takes about 15 minutes to arrive. It's not instant. Most worthwhile things feel awkward at the start. You sit down to study or practice and the first 10 minutes are usually kind of pointless. And that's normal. Your brain is switching gears, loading the save file, trying to, figure out where you even left off. Interrupt that process every 4 minutes and you never really start. That's why one solid 50-minute session usually beats 5 scattered 10-minute ones. So if you're serious, make the session easier to enter and harder to trash. Phone out of reach. Close the extra tabs. No background video. No, let me just check one thing real quick. Real quick is how a 20-minute practice session turns into you reading Reddit arguments about a game you don't even play. Then there's the third thing games are amazing at, and this might be the biggest one. Feedback. Games tell you right away when you screwed something up. Missed the dodge, you got hit. Pushed too far, you died. There's no mystery. The game is constantly answering one question. Did that work? This matters because learning is mostly correction. You try, you see what happened, you adjust, and well, you go again. Real life skills often suck at this. You can spend weeks quote-unquote studying something and still have no real sense of whether you've improved because nothing is forcing your knowledge to collide with reality. Want to speed things up? Shorten the gap between attempt and feedback. Write the code and run it, even if it breaks so spectacularly that you sit there for a second thinking, what the f was that? The mess is where the feedback is, and the feedback is what makes the next attempt smarter. This is also why games hold you so well. They keep closing the loop. Action, result. Action, result. Your brain loves that. It can work with that. When you add it all up, the pattern is pretty obvious. The reason you can grind a game for 200 hours isn't that games are childish and real life is noble. It's that games are unusually well-designed learning environments. You can build the same structure around a real skill. It just, won't happen on its own. You have to build the session yourself. So if you want something concrete to do tonight, do this. Pick one real skill you keep telling yourself you want. Make the goal small enough to finish, but hard enough that you can't sleepwalk through it. Give it 50 clean minutes with no distractions, then actually use the thing before you stop. Not review it, use it. That's the map. That's the next session. That's how this works. You don't need a different brain. You need a better game.